This episode of the Out of the Cave podcast is brought to you by Crown Trophy of Cypress, California. Crown Trophy is your one-stop shop for trophies, medals, crystal rings, and any type of promotional item. They also have the ability to customize your award or promotional item with your logo. See why they're celebrating 25 years of outstanding customer service. Contact Crown Trophy of Cypress for your next awards order. Mention the Out of the Cave podcast and receive 10% off your order. You can find their contact information listed in the sponsor section of our website, outofthecavepodcast.com. And now, enjoy the show. You're listening to the Out of the Cave podcast with your host, Junior and the Captain. This is a podcast where we talk about things going on in the world and share opinions without worrying about political correctness. Remember, it's all about respect, keeping an open mind, and always having a good time. Junior.
Captain.
We are back, man. Thanksgiving is over.
Thanksgiving is over.
Yeah, I hadn't seen you in a week. We had to take some time off because that Thanksgiving really killed me, man.
Yeah, no.
I ate so much. Remember I told you that I was gonna eat like a real man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ate like a real man, dude, and I got sick as fuck.
Yeah? Damn. I thought you were just in quarantine.
No, it was that, man. Well, you know what? After that, man, it was just crazy at work. I just didn't have any time to get together, man. But
No, I know.
Thanksgiving was good, man. I'm telling you. The food was delicious. I ate like I said I was going to eat. And when dessert time came, that's the one that I had to wimp out on, bro, because there was no more room in my stomach for desserts. So I missed out on those 5 pounds of rainbow cookies.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't really eat too much. I ate a decent-sized portion, like I said, like a normal portion, and I think I skipped dessert. I think I had maybe a slice of apple pie.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
I need any dessert, man. I regret it, but actually,
I don't
regret. I don't regret. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was able to take a lot of stuff home.
Yeah.
And the next day at work, I tore that shit up, man. Yeah. Not only that, but there was a lot of people that brought in stuff too. So there was some nice, delicious desserts, man, at work the next day.
I didn't really, even like the next day, I had like normal leftovers, but I didn't really pick out. I felt pretty good about that, actually.
Did your sister-in-law make the notorious pernil?
Yeah, no, everything was good. Everything was really good. The turkey was good. Delicious food. I just didn't go overboard this time, which is good.
Thank God, man, we were blessed to at least have food, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I hope that everyone out there also had a great Thanksgiving and was able to share it with their families, although maybe, it was a small gatherings and not as, these big gatherings like we're used to, but
yeah.
Governor Cuomo never came by the house to check on us.
No, I didn't get a knock on the door.
Yeah, so
I think it's because he was with his mom.
You think so? That's what it was?
I think so. He said that they weren't going to get together, but he's lying.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah. He was with I'm sure he had a huge party. Definitely more than 10 people. Right?
Don't even get me started again with these hypocrites, bro.
Yeah, which brings us to that.
And we've been talking about this. We've been talking about this for a while, and
it's just nonstop, man.
It hasn't stopped.
It's nonstop, man. I just don't get it. I mean, look at all the papers. Every single one of the papers, even the so-called liberal papers, are even putting it in there. Do as I say, not as I do, kind of a thing.
We've been talking about. I think they've been listening to our podcast.
The
mayor of San Francisco, London Breed,
mm-hmm.
attended a birthday party with 8 people at the same restaurant that Gavin Newsom was at.
Yeah.
London, he was at that restaurant the day after Gavin Newsom was there.
Oh, okay.
French Laundry. So he did not take his own advice.
Unbelievable, man.
And then this one is even more funny to me. The mayor of Austin, in Austin, Texas, Steve Adler.
Yeah.
He went and did like a message, like a public video, like a public announcement.
Okay.
And in the video, he's telling everyone, hey, listen, everyone, you should stay home, right? Stay home if you can, because this is not the time to relax. And it came out a little bit later on that he actually delivered that message while vacationing in Mexico with 8 people. Wow. And then he came on, I think he came on like the TV like a day or so after that, and he was apologizing. I'm sorry, that was a lapse in judgment. Really?
Isn't it amazing? Lapses of judgment all over the place.
It's okay for them.
It's
okay. But you're literally in Mexico sipping a margarita on the beach, recording a message saying, everyone, you need to stay home. Like, now's not the time to relax like I am.
Mm-hmm.
That is a height of hypocrisy. That is hilarious.
I don't get it, man. This is what we've been talking about in the past podcasts, that people are so messed up, not because of this, infection and all that stuff. And yeah, unfortunately, people are passing away and getting sick and stuff. But the general public are so messed up because they don't know who the hell to follow, man. There are so many people saying so many different things. You just don't know who to follow, man. It's like, again, we break it down into the politics aspect, whether you're, a Democrat or Republican, whatever, and you want to listen to your people, right? Not even with that. I mean, because you could listen to, if you're a Republican, you listen to Republicans, say, hey, do this, do that, whatever, you do it, and then it turns out that you shouldn't have done that. If you are a Democrat, and same thing, it turns out they shouldn't be doing that. And you just don't know who to believe.
Yeah, but the point is...
And people are getting really, really sick and tired of that, man.
But the point is, people have to remember that these politicians, and we've said this before, are just humans.
No,
I get annoyed when people look to these politicians to be like, the moral authority. Like, we have to listen to what he says and does. Meanwhile, these are people that you expect this high level of behavior from the politicians, and I'm not saying that they should be basic good people, right? Like you would think, but like, people don't even worship the Pope the way that they expect to worship like some of these politicians. It's a little bit much. And so when you start looking at people and saying, oh, they're lead me, tell me how to live, come on, that's ridiculous.
Save us.
Do your fucking job.
Save us, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do your job. You were hired, right? Like, you were voted in to be a public servant. Serve the public. I don't need to hear you pontificate on how good you are, what kind of a person you think you are, like Mr. Cuomo talking about how he was so fantastic a leader during COVID and he wrote a book about it and it's getting Emmys. I don't need all that.
Yeah. Come on, man.
I don't need all that.
But see, and that's what what I keep saying. People on both sides, everywhere, man, it doesn't matter. People are really beginning to feel the effects of all this. And it's because a lot of times everyone's getting proven wrong every single day. Every single day something else comes out like, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, well, what I said yesterday really wasn't true. It was basically on this day. Like, you just don't know, you know what I mean? So ultimately it comes down to like what I've been saying, which is, okay, look, directives. We have this COVID thing going on. This is what you should be doing. Try to take precautions, wash your hands, do the best that you can or whatever, right? And that's it, man. Just leave it upon us to carry it out and hopefully be responsible. No matter which way you look at it, there's always going to be irresponsible people. Right? There's always going to be responsible.
It's always been like that.
Yeah, but that's just like, even without a pandemic, you have irresponsible people. That is the reason why people get arrested. That is the reason why people get their ass kicked. Because there's always irresponsible people. This is really no difference, man. This is just another thing that we have to deal with. Try to be responsible. That's it. But the schools, work, all this stuff, man, it's taking its toll, man. It really has, man.
And I talk to people all day long, and everyone's mentally exhausted. Everyone's like, everyone's in good spirits, but just kind of like tired of hearing the same thing over and over.
I mean, just think about like, crazy. Okay, now the holidays are upon us.
Yeah.
And, we've been discussing it, right? Are we going to get together? Maybe not. One or two members of the family, no, we shouldn't be doing that. Other ones say, no, let's do it, right? So then which way do you go? Eventually it's going to come down to, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should just stay at our homes. You go your way, I go my way. And that's pretty much it, because no one seems to be wanting to say, you know what, let's continue doing what we usually do, you know what I mean? Because everybody's so scared or misinformed and listen, remember we were talking about the lines at all these walk-in clinics?
Yeah.
Those lines are continuing. And, more and more people are now testing positive. Once again, for me, just like the flu, you could get the flu. If you get tested every single day for the flu, a lot of people are going to have the flu. And that's what it is for me, is just the testing aspect. So many people are getting tested, the numbers are rising, right? But I just don't see it any different than anything else.
Well,
I really don't.
They're saying that hospitalizations are up in New York and in Long Island, and you hear a lot of the experts on television saying that this is going to get really bad. So I don't know. I mean, look, the virus is real. Look, LA just ordered people to stay home, and they're closing, or non-exempt businesses with in-person operations are getting closed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're thinking about doing the same thing in New York City. If it's really going to continue to be that bad, I mean, I think it makes sense to be prudent, but you have to do it in a way that I think makes sense. And to your point, a lot of people are tired of it, and like you can't just do like random things. Like one of the things I saw, which I thought was hilarious, in New York City, New York City was setting up a plan to help workers buy businesses from owners. So in some cases, a grocery store, a laundromat, the owner may be 65 years old, and this pandemic is hurting them in the pocketbook, and they're like, you know what? No mas. So now they're making a plan so the employees who work for this person can get a loan or something and take over the business. I think that's innovative, I suppose. I think it's a good idea, but that person, good luck, right? Like, this is a great time for you to take over a business that's failing and struggling.
Yeah.
This is the time you want to do it. So I think it's good. It's like a first step or a gesture, but it seems like businesses are going to take a long time to recover. I was talking to my barber, for instance, and he told me that his business is down by 50%. So he said, I can come back from this, right? Like I can get that 50% back, but it's going to take another year. And he says, do I want to stick it out? Like, do I want to stick it out that long to get back to where I was just before this, this pandemic, hit us at the worst? It's going to take him a year to come back. And if they do another lockdown, he's going to lose, more customers, and he's got to, take even longer to get back. It's hard. It's hard for businesses. It's really hard. And it's really funny because they're talking about like, for landlords, I saw someone saying that they should do some sort of like a rent holiday or something, like give them a break. And I'm wondering, is the government going to take a break on collecting taxes from these businesses and stuff?
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about that.
Yeah.
They're shutting down the businesses but still want to tax them. I mean, how does that?
Yeah, but think about it.
Work?
I mean, yeah, and in that sense, is the government going to pay the oil bill, pay the electric bill that other people, right? So if you're going to postpone certain things, you got to postpone everything else too.
You got to postpone everything. You got to pay
still
everybody.
have to provide, and you still have to provide that service, right?
Yeah.
Because the winter's coming, the cold weather, people are going to be, using up oil left and right.
But,
right?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
Where they're going to get the money for that? So if you're going to do that to the landlords, you're going to have to pay for their oil too. There's a lot of that goes. There's a lot of involved, man.
I know.
Now I get it. Like these huge buildings in the city, obviously, all those things. They're all multi-billionaires. So in a way, they can handle it. They still suffer, right? They're still going to lose, but it's not like if it's a family that owns
That's true.
A small building. You just can't do that, man, because those people are just making it. If anything, the rent that they're charging is probably just paying their mortgage.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. But you know what? I'm glad our politicians are thinking about the right stuff around this pandemic. In fact, Clinton, Bush, and Obama all volunteered to take the vaccine first. They all kind of said, I'm going to do this for you, America.
Ones.
Give me the cure first.
Yes.
I had nothing to do with warp speed. I had nothing to do with creating
Absolutely not.
But you know what? I'm going to give it to me. Let me go on camera. And give me that cure. And let me just show America that
I'm going to get cured first.
I'm with you. Americans, I am so with you that I'm going to get the cure first.
That I'm going to be cured first. And those other two people over there are going to die because I'm going to take the first vaccine. It's amazing, right?
Trust me, Americans, you want me to do this first.
Yeah. You see? And nobody says anything, man.
No, because you know what? They're showing us that we should not be afraid of the vaccine.
That's not what.
And you know what? I might not have been afraid for the vaccine if I didn't hear Democrats talking about how terrible it would be and that it's a Trump vaccine and it's probably not going to work and they had no confidence in the process. If I didn't hear that 24/7, maybe I wouldn't have a doubt in my mind. But because I heard that all the time, now I need the same people that were spreading that kind of storyline.
Yeah.
I need to see them take it. Then I'll know it's safe.
Yeah.
And then I'll know I can wait 6 months, 7 months to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
I'm glad they got it first, though.
Oh, yeah, of course. Not to mention that, let's just say there was a certain amount of vaccines available.
Yes.
Right? And now I'm going to step up to the plate and take this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove to you that it's safe to take. Here you go. And you do it. But there's not enough for you guys to take it.
No.
And everybody else is going to die except for me now because I took it.
Well, no.
Thank you.
But to be fair, it's not.
I'm just saying.
It's not going to be just them. It's going to be their families too.
Well, and exactly. You see? But everybody has their
families. Yeah. And obviously, they're in the chauffeur and their pilots
and
the maids. They come on. We got to take it. We got to show America.
Their private security.
Yeah, we got to show America that,
Yeah, that it's safe to take.
It's safe to take.
Yeah. It's amazing, man. It's amazing. You can't win.
No.
There's no right answer. There's, everywhere you look, you're being bamboozled. Period.
Yeah, but you know what? But they still have our best interests at heart because
of course.
The House of Representatives, they just passed a bill to decriminalize marijuana at the federal level.
Yeah.
Which is, now that's impressive. I'm glad. That's the most important thing. That is the most important thing right now.
Well,
got to get high legally now.
Yeah. The only thing is this. So they decriminalized it, right?
Yeah, it's called the MORE Act, Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act. And I looked this up, so let me say this. Let's see here. It says it would remove marijuana from the Controlled Substance Act and remove criminal penalties from those who would manufacture, distribute, or possess the drug. And
on the federal level.
On the federal level. And it also provides a process to expunge prior convictions of federal marijuana cases. That is also going to be included.
Let me ask you a question, man. Just because obviously you brought it up. How many people do you think yearly are getting arrested for marijuana on the federal level, man?
Not a lot.
Exactly. So that stupid law is irrelevant because the states, their laws don't apply to that. You understand what I'm saying? So,
but some states are already making it legal, right? Like Colorado and these other states.
Yeah. But they're still not all legal. That's
not
the whole
all,
thing.
Not all.
And so the point I'm trying to make is that if they have that law, the states can still make it illegal or have it, illegal. And that's it. It's end of story. You know what I mean?
But you know what this makes me wonder?
But not too many people are getting arrested federally anyway for marijuana.
But this makes me wonder, it's the part that says manufacture and distribute. Like, does this set it up to make it easier for companies like Big Tobacco to make marijuana cigarettes?
And I mean, that's possible.
Like Philip Morris and those guys.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, listen, if you're going to decriminalize it, period, right? I mean, just like regular tobacco, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to decriminalize it and then everybody follows suit on it, right? Don't you think that the major corporations are going to step in and say, hey, so now let me create my own product since this is not illegal anymore. Let me create my own marijuana cigarette. And this will be the Marlboro M's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course. I'm sure that's part of it.
That's what it seems like to me. It seems
you know what I mean?
It seems like now they're gearing up because, all right, so now it's legalized in some states. Now they remove federal criminal penalties from manufacturing and distributing it. Seems to me that someone's going to start really raking in the business because I know they have like all these like little marijuana dispensaries and stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't have cartons of marijuana cigarettes yet coming out. But if that's legal, I imagine that it will be soon.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna stop them?
I don't know.
Who's gonna stop them? Absolutely nobody, man. But it's just, I mean, look at the way the cigarettes are today. You know how like the Indian reservations?
Yes.
They have their own stuff, right? So like they sell their own cigarettes and all that. Their cigarettes are not
super
taxed.
cheap. So there's no tax.
So there's no tax. Like the state has their taxes and stuff like that. So it's going to be the same thing. See, right? So you're gonna have your product that's gonna be taxed, and they're gonna be making, all these people will be making big time dollars. And then you're going to have your other products that are technically going to be illegal, right? Because, I mean, think about it, right? If certain people don't have to abide by those laws or rules or whatever, they're going to have a product that, you don't have to pay taxes on. So, it looks like it's going to be a business decision on this one.
And it makes sense.
That's what it looks like.
But it makes sense to me because in the U.S., there's definitely like a big anti-smoking ban, right? Like, you can't smoke cigarettes in restaurants and movie theaters. Like, really, they've done a really good job of, I feel like, for the most part, eliminating cigarette smoking from the public.
Because of lung cancer.
Because of lung cancer and stuff like that.
But I guess marijuana smoking doesn't
create this is what I was
lung cancer,
right? But yeah, because if you look at, like, TV shows, look at any TV show, what you're going to see, whatever the show is, the main stars of the show are always drinking wine, and they're always talking about or smoking marijuana. So in my mind, if I'm one of those big tobacco guys and I'm nobody, if I know that everyone hates my cigarettes, but everybody loves weed, and now it's no longer a federal crime to manufacture, distribute it. I don't know. It sounds to me like I'm going to change my whole line from a tobacco, like tobacco to weed.
Yeah.
And then I just sell a shitload of weed cigarettes.
That's it. Just add a flavor to it.
Right?
Right. There you go. And I guess it doesn't cause cancer. So
I guess not, because everybody's smoking it.
There you go. I guess on your little packaging, it doesn't, it's not going to have that little warning.
Yeah.
Oh, warning. This product may contain whatever and it causes cancer. I guess this one doesn't.
Did you ever travel? Like I traveled to Europe a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, in Belgium, when you buy the cigarettes, and maybe it's in other countries too, they have like pictures of like dead babies and like fucked up lungs and stuff on it, like on the cigarette package itself.
Okay.
Did you ever see that?
No, I've never seen that.
It's really disturbing. So like you go, oh, let me get a pack of Marlboro Red, and then they give it to you, and you don't even see the Marlboro name. You just see like a big picture of like
dead baby.
Yeah, like like some like fucked up fetus or like your fucked up lungs. It's meant to like, it's like that warning, but like on steroids. It's really kind of crazy.
So it's like a visual travesty.
Yeah,
right.
Like a visual deterrent. It's crazy. So so now they're not going to need any of that stuff anymore because everybody wants to smoke weeds.
Exactly.
Weedies.
Wheaties.
Right? I'm gonna make my own brand. Wheaties.
There you go.
You need Wheaties in the morning. Wheaties at night.
I don't know, man.
Wheaties make you feel right.
I don't know. You might as well just decriminalize everything.
Well, you know what?
Because eventually,
you need a stupid population to kind of keep control.
I don't know, man. Things that are changing in a manner that I just don't get, man. There's no discipline, no nothing, man. Like nobody cares about
just
anything.
The priorities are off.
Yeah.
Which actually that takes me to the next thing I wanted to mention to you. I love Puerto Rico. My family's from Puerto Rico, and I'm so disappointed because the iconic Arecibo telescope, which has been in Puerto Rico for 57 years, collapsed on Tuesday morning. It really made me sad. It made me sad because I had visited it as a kid. I remember seeing it, and then I brought my own family to see it, and it was always like the highlight of the trip.
The telescope, bro, was the highlight of your trip. I'm just trying to. The
reason why it was like kind of like a source of pride because it had been from when it was built 57 years ago to 2016. It had always been the world's largest radio telescope, and it was in movies like GoldenEye or Contact with Jodie Foster. And so when you saw it, it was just like, whoa, do you know where the world's biggest radio telescope is? In Puerto Rico. Like, it was just one of those things that all Puerto Ricans loved, and it was kind of cool. And it was just sad because in August, there was a small earthquake, and it caused one of the cables to collapse. Mm-hmm. And then the second one collapsed a few weeks later. The National Science Foundation, NSF, they were responsible for managing it, and they didn't really do anything. And instead, they had said that they were going to actually demolish it last November. They had made a decision, but the final cable collapsed and it destroyed it. And with it, one of the world's largest telescopes that had many groundbreaking discoveries is no more. In 2016, it was...
stop right there for a second.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that we're on the same sheet of music and that, this is as important as you say it is.
Okay.
Give me one thing that's groundbreaking about this telescope. What did they discover that any other telescope didn't? It
actually was part of the SETI project. You know SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Life. And so it was one of the...
So you believe in fantasy? Is that what you're telling me? E.T.?
You don't believe in it?
There's no Area 51. You are aware of that, right?
There is an Area 51, bro. Come on. They were going to storm it. They were going to storm it.
Were they?
I remember that. No, but it was kind of cool because it was actually like a kind of a global. It was like a global effort at one point because you could actually link up your computer to the SETI project and kind of like loan your computer processing power to help look for signs of extraterrestrial life. And the telescope actually also found many different planets that we didn't know existed before. And it was very, it was just an iconic place because so many people from all around the world would go there to do their research. So there you go.
You know, man, as much as I want to be sad for you,
don't be you're gonna get a lot of angry Puerto Rican.
No, that's fine, but I'm like, I mean, is that really news, bro?
It's news, man. It's news.
Just build another one. You know what I mean?
It's news. Who's gonna build it? They broke the first one. It's only 57 years old. Come on,
damn Puerto Ricans, man. You see?
The National Science Foundation.
Why destroying their own shit?
No, it was an earthquake, man.
Listen,
here's what
I know it's the Science Foundation and all that stuff, but the Puerto Ricans should have fixed it, man. If you really cared about it, right? They should have got together and fixed the damn
Put some
thing.
duct tape on
That's it. Do what you got to do. Create a splint.
Here's the bottom line. In the United States, we all know
Yeah.
how important STEM opportunities are, right? Science, technology. To me, it's a lot of BS because the NSF should have found the money. They should have properly managed the facility, and they should have repaired that telescope years ago. And it was just really a sad way for something like that to go.
Well, I mean, they needed that money, bro. They needed that money.
They didn't have money.
Well,
Instead, we're looking using.
They
money.
did have the money. They just probably used it for Governor Cuomo's new book. They just right. I'm sure the money went somewhere else towards something else that probably was not as important as the telescope, right?
Well, here's what happens now when ET comes and people are going to start getting pissed and say, "How come we didn't know about it?" I'm going to be like, "That's what happens when you fuck up the world's second largest radio telescope." Oh, and by the way, guess where the world's largest telescope is now? Remember I told you in 2016? China.
China. In China?
In China.
China?
China's got it's called the FAST telescope, and it surpassed it. And so there you go. We lost that title to China.
There you go. Thanks a lot, Puerto Rico.
Thanks a lot, National Science Foundation.
Oh man.
Yeah. But in more positive news, did you check out the Mike Tyson?
I didn't see it. I was at work and I read the not the play-by-play, but the round-by-round narratives that they were putting out on ESPN. While I was reading it, it seemed like that Tyson was kicking his ass. That's what it sounded like, or at least the way they were describing it.
Yeah.
I think how many? It was like 8 rounds, right?
I think it was 6 rounds.
I can't remember. So
it went on pretty late,
that,
and I fall asleep intermittently.
From what I read, 2 out of whatever rounds it was that the fight was,
6, yeah.
They said they attributed Roy Jones Jr. as the winner of those particular rounds.
I don't know what they were watching.
But the other rounds, the way they described it, they said that Tyson was beating the shit out of this guy, right?
Tyson was beating the shit out of him the entire fight.
Well, okay. I didn't see the fight, but at the end of the day, when I saw, okay, what is the result? It's a fucking draw. Yes. What is that?
No, well, again, in number one, it's an exhibition fight, and it was actually a lot of fun to watch. Mike Tyson looked really good. I'm not going to say he looked like the old Mike Tyson, but he looked like he was training, and he looked like he had the power. In fact, a few times you would see him punch Roy Jones Jr., and Roy Jones just looked hurt. And I remember at the end of the fight, he even says something to the effect of, and I don't want to get the quote wrong before people start sending me messages, but he essentially alluded to the fact that shit hurt. Yeah, he was like, yo, that motherfucker's so hard. he hit it real hard, and then at the end of the fight, I don't know how many minutes it is between when they ring the bell and then they actually do the post fight announcement. Yeah, Roy Jones still didn't have his breath. He was through his whole interview, and then it wasn't until 3 minutes after, and they were interviewing Mike Tyson. Yeah. Roy Jones caught his breath, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it again. Well, why not? I'll do it again. If they ask me to." But Mike Tyson was good, and you know what? What I didn't realize until I was listening to the fight, I think they said Roy Jones fought 3 years ago, his last fight.
2018 was his last fight.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's last fight was 15 or 16 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So Mike Tyson, I thought he was really gracious. He was like, "Come on, give me a slack, guys. I haven't done this in 15, 16 years. I thought I did pretty good." And I was like, "Hell yeah, you did this 15, 16 months ago." Yeah. He creamed Roy Jones.
Bro, I don't see how 15 years later you're not gonna still have the power to knock the fuck out of somebody. He
had that power.
Yeah, I mean,
and maybe we can pull up the clips later and you can see it because I can't remember it. But Roy Jones was in the beginning of it, he was like, "Yeah, I got fucked up. This guy still hits hard." Yeah. And then I think they even said "Do you want to do it again?" And he was like, "I don't think so." His initial response was he was hesitant. Yeah. And then I think he picked up on it. He was like, "Yeah, we could do it again later." But Mike Tyson was like, "I don't know, you guys want to see it again?" He was trying to promote it. Yeah. And he was very humble. He was very chill. I was very happy with that fight.
The performance.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with the draw, but it's clearly they wanted to set up a rematch. Another fight. Yeah. Which what? And I would actually not mind watching it. I just know that Mike Tyson's gonna whip his ass though.
Yeah. No, I mean, think about it. It's like George Foreman, right? Back in the day when he fought Muhammad Ali and all those big names, right? Yeah. Frazier and all that. when he came out of retirement in his 40s to fight again against, like the Evander Holyfields and all these other guys, right? Yeah, that guy was obviously older. He was, overweight and all that stuff. But that guy still had power, man. And even to this day, you could see old George Foreman. That guy has power, man.
I'm sure.
If he's my father, I'm sure that he can kill me with one punch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm getting out of line.
Yeah.
Those guys don't lose their power, man.
It's the same with Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, they just lose their speed, obviously. Their speed and their conditioning and all that stuff. But when it comes to the power, they get you with one punch, man. It's all over.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't see the fight. I wish I did. But I never thought that Roy Jones Jr. would have been in the same category as Mike Tyson, like in their primes. No way, man.
Yeah. I don't. You know what? It's funny.
No way, man.
Whenever I saw Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight, it reminded me of Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, I mean
fast.
Fast.
Like he was not. I don't know. Like I never wasn't like a flashy knockout fighter for me, but like very smooth and tough and fast. And it would be interesting to see like Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Roy Jones Jr. in their prime.
In their prime, yeah.
That would be an interesting fight. I mean,
both of them were fast.
It might be actually boring, but it would be, I think that they would be like similarly matched.
Yeah, maybe. That one more similarly matched than with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Mike Tyson creamed him.
Yeah, no, he would have destroyed.
But it wasn't as bad as the fight before that, Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul.
Oh, you know what? Again, I didn't even see the fight, but I saw the picture of Nate Robinson like in the middle of the ring there, and with his face was straight to the canvas, bro.
Yeah, look, I
mean, how did that happen?
I'm a Knicks fan, and so I was rooting for Nate, right? Like, I think everybody from
now, who was that? Who was that other guy?
I don't really know who Jake Paul is personally.
He's not a boxer, is he?
Well, no. It's my understanding him and his brother like YouTube stars.
Okay.
YouTube and there's so many YouTube celebrities. I have to be honest. I'm surprised that young people have like as much time that they have to see all these individual celebrities. Anyway, that's besides the point. It's my understanding him and his brother are like YouTube celebrities. And this was something that he said he always wanted to do or something in his life. He made it seem like he was like, yeah, this is something I've been dreaming about my whole life. Yeah. And the guy's like 21 years old. I was like...
How old is Nate Robinson?
I don't know, like
30s maybe?
Yeah, 30s.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just really sad because, you're rooting for New York. Go New York. And you're rooting for Nate.
I didn't see it.
He even had like blue and orange
gloves
and like his outfit,
Well, just like
and his like right from the bell, he was like running at him with like his eyes closed and like punching, and then all he was doing was like gripping, and I was just like, yo, this motherfucker don't know how to fight
at all.
Nope. It's like, sometimes
stick to basketball then.
Stick to basketball. But I don't know who would even have asked him, because if they saw him in a sparring match,
yeah,
they would know that this guy don't know how to fight. They would know he doesn't know how to fight. So I don't know how he signed up for that.
Well, let me ask you this. Was that for like a charity? They were raising money for charity, or they were getting paid?
What were they getting
paid? If it's
paid?
For charity, then, okay, I'll let you get away with that. You know what I mean? But if you're out there trying to get paid now as a boxer and you're pulling that nonsense, I don't know, man.
I think they were getting paid, but it was like an exhibition match.
Because it's just like Chris Tucker, Smokey said in Friday, he got knocked the fuck out.
Yo, he really did.
I saw the picture. As a matter of fact, you sent me the picture.
Yeah,
no, because I
posted it on the Out of the Cave.
Yeah, you sent the picture
Instagram.
No, but didn't you send it to me before you posted it?
Yeah, I did.
And I saw that. I'm like, what the fuck happened there? Because I didn't even know he was fighting, And the picture in itself, even with the referee over
dead.
It looked like he was dead. Yeah, it really did look like that.
I felt real bad. But it's like it's one of those things where maybe people assume because he's black he could fight. Like it's happened to me. Some people think Puerto. Like I remember I was at like a work function.
Yeah. And
salsa music came on. And all the white ladies came running over me. I was like, yo, I'm not really like a great salsa dancer. It's like a lot of pressure. People just assume. And whoever assumed that he could fight.
Completely wrong, huh?
Yeah,
stick to basketball.
I wish I could say it was even close. It wasn't even close because Jake Paul was like actually sticking and moving and jabbing, and Nate Robinson just, I don't know what he was thinking. I literally don't know. It would have been like if someone asked me to go jump into the ring, like you would know immediately that I'm not a boxer, and it was just bad.
When you look at the the technicality of it, right?
Yeah,
and in any sport for that matter. Who can't shoot a hoop, right? Like you go get a basketball and shoot a hoop and maybe the ball goes in, maybe it doesn't, right? But to play a game in the NBA or
Right.
WNBA, whatever. It takes skill, man. It takes a lot of work. It takes, you just can't just get onto the corner and say, okay, guys, come on, let's go do it. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work like that in boxing.
Right.
It doesn't work like that in wrestling. It doesn't work like that anywhere, man. Football, nothing. You can't just, say, yeah, just go in there. Go in for that guy over there, right? It just doesn't work like that. It takes years and years of training and preparing for it. And when you are trained and prepared for one particular thing, does not necessarily mean that you're trained and prepared to do the other thing. I mean, I'll give mad props, and I always will, to Bo Jackson when he used to play football and baseball.
Yeah.
Because that guy right there, he was great at both. I mean, he definitely was great at both. You know what I mean? It's not like he was just good at or phenomenal in football and then just trying, the baseball thing just to make a little extra cash or whatever. The guy was phenomenal in both. Not many people could pull that, man. Not many people could pull that. And in this particular case, first of all, Nate Robinson, you said he was in his 30s, right?
I think he's like 35 or something. Maybe.
So, if you're going to start boxing now at 35, that's a late time to start boxing. All these kids, the champions.
Yeah, but but this is my point. He wasn't even starting to box.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what his thought process was. That's why I asked whether it was charity or was it that he's really going to get paid because he's not playing or he's not in basketball anymore. I don't know. But if this is a thing that he wants to do now, that 30 in the 30s is a little late to be starting boxing, man. You know what I mean? All these kids that are boxing and the professionals, they're in their late teens, mid 20s, man, knocking people out.
Well,
man.
Here's what I think happened. I think what happened was he was in the gym and someone took a picture of him.
Yeah.
And he probably looked dope when they posted on Instagram, and he looked tough, and that shit went to his head. So this is what happens. This is what happens when you take pictures and post shit on Instagram. It soups you up. And he had a little dose of reality.
That was it, right?
That was it.
That was it. Go ahead.
The other funny part was Snoop Dogg was one of the commentators, and that dude is hilarious.
Yeah,
they should give him a contract to do like NBA, or he could do every sport because he was just funny. One of the funny lines he had was when Mike Tyson and Roy Jones was fighting. Right from the beginning, he's like, "Yo, this looks like my uncle's fighting at the barbecue. This is what it looks like when my uncles go out and fight in the backyard." He just had like mad one-liners, man. It was just so funny listening to him, and the shit that he was saying. And I've heard other people say this, but it was true. We were saying it that night when we were watching it. He was saying all the things that you're thinking. Yeah. Like all the funny, inappropriate things. Like he was just saying shit. It was just so funny.
So basically what you're telling me is that Snoop Dogg deserves the Emmy more than Governor Cuomo. That's what you're telling me.
Snoop Dogg 100% deserves the Emmy.
Well, whoever the commission is or whoever please.
Give it to Snoop Dogg.
Give it to Snoop Dogg. Forget Cuomo.
Yeah,
right?
And he even performed, and his performance was dope. His performance was dope.
What did he perform? What did he say? What did he write?
His songs.
Yeah, but which ones? A lot of them?
All his hits.
Well, it was like right before?
Yeah, like, because what it was, I forgot the name of the company. It was like Trip or Track. I can't remember the name of the company that was like sponsoring it.
Yeah.
They like had multiple performers like, throughout the whole thing. So it was pretty cool. But Snoop Dogg's performance was really good. He was like, he sounded like himself. He looked like himself.
Yeah.
That guy's the man. He should have, and I know he's been on TV and a bunch of stuff, but he should definitely get a job being like a professional commentator. He just made it fun.
Yeah, I wish I would have seen it, man. I would have seen it.
You got to stop working, man. Waste your life watching TV.
I know. It's every time something like that happens, a big event, I always get caught up at work, man. Or if I don't get caught up at work, you know what happens? I forget all about it. And especially with the boxing, over here on the East Coast, man, those fights start like at midnight. Where in the West Coast, obviously at 9 o'clock, that's a recent, that's a good time to start a fight, man. But over here, midnight,
it gets a little late.
I'm already tired by that time, man.
Well, like I told you, I fell asleep. I definitely fell asleep like a couple of times, but I got up for that fight. I was up for most of it, but there was a couple of parts where I was just like out on the recliner. But it was better than I thought it was going to be, because I was just afraid Mike Tyson was going to knock him out in the first round. Like he did to me so many times in the past. You paid $60 and then it's a first round knockout. I'm like, damn, in the old days, right? Damn it. You go to the bathroom and you miss it,
all the time.
That happens all the time.
Damn.
So yeah.
Those were good times, man. Back in the day when that guy was good, man. That guy was good. I mean, he worked really hard and he made himself that champion, bro. And he was a terror. He definitely was a terror.
One of my favorite memes is the one where he's talking to, I think it was Jim Gray, about hurting his back. He's like, hey, I forgot what fight it was. He lost a fight, and Junior's like, hey, what happened to you? And he goes, I broke my back. And he's like, what? You broke your back? What do you mean? It's broken. What do you mean it's broken? Spinal. You ever seen that? You never seen that?
Nah.
Oh, get out of here. Oh, bro, you have to look it up. It is so funny. And it's like one of those things where you could tell that if you keep asking him questions, he's going to fucking punch you in the face. You know what I mean? Like, he's like spinal. Like, you know, he's not going to get more specific. You ask him again, he's going to fucking knock you out. I love that. I love that, man. Mike Tyson's my favorite. There's only a couple of like celebrities that are on my list of people that I want to meet that I haven't had a chance. Because, you know, we met a bunch of people. Yeah. On that list are Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay, yeah.
And Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Shaquille is good, man.
Shaquille is freaking amazing. He has a show, I don't know if you ever saw it, I think it's called Shaq Life. You ever seen it?
Shaq Life.
I think it's called Shaq Life.
Nah.
It was like a 6-episode thing. Recent. It was pretty recent. Uh-huh. And oh my God, it was great because it's hosted or narrated by Samuel L. Jackson. Okay. And it just follows Shaq around. Bro, I have to tell you, like, some of the episodes actually almost made me want to, like, tear up. Because Shaq, and I don't know if this is...
You talk about Sheriff Shaq?
No, just I don't know if it's, like, real, like, if this is the real Shaq or not. Yeah. But that motherfucker cares about people. He cares about people. He cares about being
I know. He bought Papa John's, man.
Yeah, he bought into it. But they tell you, like, some of the feedback because Papa John's was having an issue because the owner had made some, like, racist comments. And when people heard that Shaq had bought into the franchise, they were giving him a lot of shit, saying, like, he's like Uncle Tom. Yeah. And it was cool because you could see Shaq dealing and struggling with having to figure out, like, you know, how do I go about this? And he was serious about being on the board. Like, he wasn't like a token person. Like, he was like going to meetings, giving them feedback. And he was talking to his mom. And he's like, Mom, you know, people are saying this about me. And his mom was really supportive. And then you see him like doing charity. Like, he was in Spain because he's a DJ. Did you know he's a DJ? Yeah. So he was in Spain for like
rap
a show.
Artist, DJ, sheriff.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, so in this particular episode, he was in Spain for a show. And so they were in like an Apple store just checking it out. And then there was like these two little kids who were just like playing with the Apple products. And like the store associates were like, yeah, these kids come in there every day. And Shaq saw them because they were also black. And he was like, yo, this is how I was as a kid. So he goes to the store associate. He's like, yo, give them 2 of these. And he gave them each like a MacBook Pro.
Oh, wow.
And when the associates give it to the kids are like, what? Like, what are you doing giving me this? Yeah. And then she explains, oh, no, these are for you. And Shaq was like, yo, these are for you guys. And you could see how happy they were. And like the store associate lady was crying. And he just, everywhere he goes, you could just see him light up the room. Yeah. And it sounds like I'm like sweating him. And it's not that I'm sweating him, but
not too many people do that, man.
I just admire him. Yeah. Like, I admire when people are realistic about who they are, because he talks about his limitations. And he's like, when I retired, it was a very hard thing to like deal with, because it was like, you know, it's almost like depression, because you're used to, and the way he says it, he goes, you're used to hearing, yeah, like the roar of the crowd. And he goes, and when you like step out of spotlight, it gets less and it gets less. Yeah. You go into a restaurant, yeah, you hear people, but he's like, it gets less. And you have to deal with that. And he's just got like this mentality of like, yo, I just do everything 100%. I set a challenge. He does MMA. Like, you see him take on an MMA guy. Yeah. And so I really admire people like that. Pitbull's another guy who's like that too. But anyway, so if you ever get a chance to see the show, I think is a revealing look into it. I don't know if it's all bullshit, but I really enjoyed the show.
No, he actually, you know, he's a military guy.
Yes, he speaks about his dad.
Yeah, all the time. He was raised that way, man. So it's not like it's bullshit, man. That's the way he is. He doesn't care what other people think, and he just does his thing. And guess what? He doesn't look for accolades. Yeah. You know, again, they're following him or whatever. But I'm sure that even without cameras and all that, he's still doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, and he's not asking people to, hey, look what I did. Look, you know, show me. He just does it. You know what I mean?
No, it's cool.
There's a lot of people like that. One of the ones that I could remember. You remember Paul Walker? Yeah. So Paul Walker, when he passed away, there was a couple.
Well, Paul Walker of Fast and Furious for the people, for the fans.
Yeah, and to me, he was a good actor. He did, you know, his movies were pretty
I like
good,
his movies,
right? Mm-hmm. But I really didn't know much about the guy, aside from the fact that, you know, he was in the movies, good-looking kid, this and that or whatever. After he passed away in that car accident, there was a couple that told this story about he went into they were in a jewelry store and they were looking for an engagement ring or something like that. And they were getting married. And Paul Walker had gone in there to pick up some jewelry that he had ordered. And he saw the people talking to one of the saleswomen. And, the lady showing the ring to the people, and they're like, no, that was too expensive. No, oh, I love that one. Oh, we can't afford it, all the stuff. So he's just there picking up his stuff and listening to them at the same time. And he ended up purchasing the ring for that couple without them knowing. He went, grabbed his stuff, and just paid for the thing. And he left. And when they finally, I guess, selected the ring that they could afford, they ended up giving them the ring that they really wanted, that they could afford. They're like, whoa, what is this or whatever? And the guy left without them even realizing that he had just purchased the ring for them. It's like little things like that, you know what I mean?
That's cool.
And they didn't even know either, because they didn't know who the hell the guy was, you know what I'm saying? So, like, even if they would have said, oh, it was Paul Walker, just bought it for you.
They were like, who?
Yeah, who is that guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, see?
But there's a lot of people that are like that.
Yeah. See, and those are the people I like to, to highlight, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But, all the big mouths, those are people that don't ever do shit for anybody.
Yeah.
So all these people, man, that you see, social networks and all these things, man, on TV and the Kardashians, they don't do shit for nobody but themselves, man.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if Mike Tyson does shit like that, but he entertains the fuck out of me, man. He entertains the fuck. He had a TV show, the Mike Tyson Mysteries. You ever seen
yeah, the cartoon, right?
Yeah, I love that shit. I was watching that with my kids, bro. We were laughing our ass off. We love that.
Then he solved crimes, right? He was like an investigator.
Yeah, it was like Scooby Doo. Like I think he had a tiger. I can't remember, but like it was cool, man. It was a cool show.
That would remind me of Mr. T used to have something similar. Remember that?
Yeah.
The Mr. T hour.
Yeah, no, it was cool. So I'm sure Mike Tyson's a cool dude too, but I don't hear stories like that. But yeah. So if I could meet anyone, it would be Mike Tyson, Pitbull. Pitbull's also very inspirational. I listen to his podcast.
Yeah,
and he's all about like the community and helping people and never forgetting where you come from. Again, another very inspirational person. Remember we met Pitbull in Vegas?
Yeah, of course.
Or was it Pitbull? Or
that was Pitbull, man. Of course it was. I have pictures of him.
We have pictures. But Pitbull's also very inspirational, and that's another guy I'd like.
By the way, that was a very, very expensive night.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
It was actually funny because I don't know how this thing came about, but I was talking to one of the kids, and I was telling them about that.
Yeah,
because I was explaining to them about, hey, listen, save your money.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, don't start spending your money on stupid things. Try to save up. Try to have enough money for a down payment on a house. This way you could buy a house early in life. Don't wait like me. That I have to wait till later. And then she's like, no. I try to save as much as I can. I said, yeah, just don't make no stupid mistakes like I did. And then she goes, well, what do you mean? I said, you remember that? Because they were around when we went.
Yeah.
So you remember that one time that we went to Vegas? It was just a guy's trip to Vegas. Yeah. Well, let me explain to you about this one particular night.
Let me explain to you about how I don't know how to follow the bouncer to get into the club.
Was it
you were supposed to follow. You were supposed to follow us when we were going in, and you decided not to go in.
I can't remember.
You waited online. We got the hookup to go in, and you decided to wait.
Did I? I don't remember. Was I there?
Yes, you were there.
No, I mean I was there at the place, but I don't remember having to wait. Or anything.
I don't want to embarrass you.
No, you don't. You can't embarrass me because I just don't remember. I remember that night.
We got in without having to pay for bottle service. You paid for bottle service.
Did I?
Yes. And we were like, what? And we were like, what the fuck did you pay that for? You didn't have to pay that. All you had to do was follow us.
That I don't remember that.
That was just the beginning of the night.
Yeah. I don't remember that, man.
It was a very expensive night.
Yeah, it was expensive.
Although I will say thank you because I had a great time. Thank you for spending all that money.
You're welcome. And see, there you go. So I spend all that money so that years later I can use it as an example to my kid. Of what not to do.
But that's one of those that's one of those good story, bad stories because you could be that's an example of what to do.
Well, okay, listen, in this particular case, it was what not to do. I'm trying to teach her a lesson. What the fuck's wrong with you, man?
Because that was an amazing night. That was an amazing night.
That was an amazing trip. That was amazing. That's gonna have to be a full show one of these days, man. Yeah, definitely. The Vegas trip. Yeah. Oh man, that was a good one. But there you go. It served as an example for me to tell her.
Yes.
Not to waste her money on dumb things. Although it really wasn't.
Although that
dumb.
wasn't. To me,
it wasn't dumb, but you got to say it was dumb.
I didn't think it was dumb, and I thought it was great, but it wasn't my money. And speaking about money, we gotta thank our sponsor.
Yes, we do. We actually do. Crown Trophy. Crown Trophy of Cyprus, right? Crown Trophy of Cyprus is your one-stop shop for trophies, medals, crystals, rings, and any type of promotional item. They have the ability to customize your award or promotional item with your logo. 25 years of outstanding service by Crown Trophy of Cyprus. Reach out to them. They ship nationwide.
You can find their info on our website, outofthecavepodcast.com.
And also mentioned Out of the Cave Podcast, and you will receive, guess what? 10% off your order. Christmas is coming, so let's do it. Let's send those awards. Let's get them going.
Do it. You know, I think I have to send him. I think I'll have to get an order in there too.
I'm gonna have to give my kids the trophies, man. Like, no. See, now how do I do that? Right?
Does 10% off count for us?
I don't know. Does it say? No. Oh, damn! Look, read the fine print, right? No family members, no friends or family.
No friends, families.
Damn. Yeah, because I was gonna say, damn, with the kids, how do you give a kid the best daughter award or best son award when you have multiple kids, right?
Yeah, good luck on that one.
You can't do that one, right? So I have to figure something out.
Good luck on that.
Shit, I was going to try to scam on that one.
Fans, thank you for listening to the show. This has been the Out of the Cave Podcast. You can find us at outofthecavepodcast.com. We're on Instagram at Out of the Cave Podcast. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube. Just search for Out of the Cave Podcast. And thank you so much. We are looking forward to rounding up this year. We've got a couple of podcasts to go. We have a special, another happy half hour.
Yeah,
we're going to extend it an hour.
Is it going to be an hour?
Yeah, we're going to extend an hour.
Oh, see, I told you.
Yeah, a lot of people want.
Well, you're only extending it because you can't say happy half hour.
It's hard to say happy half hour.
Right.
But but people have said that they thought it was should be longer. So we're gonna have some fun. So look out for that episode. And once again, thank you for supporting us and following our show. Continue to send us some feedback. Thanks again, fans. We really appreciate it. 2020 has been a really rough year, but for us, it's been great.
That's it. And I'm so glad to have started this thing. And all the feedback that's coming in is phenomenal, even though I get a lot of hate mail. I'm loving it because I didn't have any kind of mail before. So why not love that one, right?
Yeah.
But thank you so much for everything. And I'm glad, or I hope that everyone had a happy Thanksgiving and is looking forward towards these new holidays coming up. And once again, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Take care, everyone. Thanks.
Enjoy. Bye.